Hey everyone, and welcome to Win Stupid Prizes, the show where we ask the questions that nobody thought were worth asking. I'm Eddie, and I'm joined today by 3 cheers for, and they are Paul,
Hip hip,
Jamie,
hooray,
and Alex.
Sweet revenge. So long. Good night.
I've done you out of order here because Jamie's actually our judge today. And what questions do you have for us this episode?
I have an extremely pressing matter to bring before the three of you. You see, somehow Palpatine returned.
Good.
always saying that.
Very happy about this.
Again?
And this seems to keep happening. And that's a problem in my opinion. So we need to work out how to stop Palpatine in the first place. How do we stop Palpatine? How do we stop the rise of the dark side? Because otherwise, after we deal with him this time, Palpatine will return again and we'll just be stuck in a cycle forever. So I need to know how to stop the rise of Palpatine.
You've got some time travel shenanigans or something to do that.
Yeah, I've got that side of things handled.
Okay.
I just need you three to tell me how to stop the rise of the dark side and Palpatine.
That's easy, dude. Just kill Jar Jar.
What?
Yeah, jolly good.
But Jar Jar's the most innocent and lovable member of the Star Wars cast.
But he's also a gullible buffoon who he tables the motion to give Palpatine ultimate power.
Yeah, but that's fine.
And therefore sets up the domino effect that is the dark side.
It's quite late on, so it's quite last minute.
Yeah, but that's like a linchpin in his plan, right? Is get the vote to get all the power from the Senate.
Yeah, emergency powers.
Yes, fair.
So if we bang Jar Jar gets one in the head, then he isn't there to go, hey, why don't we give this dude ultimate power? And instead everyone just sits there twiddling their thumbs in that awkward trade embargo, whatever the hell they're voting on.
This attack on my life has left me severely weakened. Okay, rip to you, I guess.
You'll figure it out. You're the good guy.
Okay. So let me get this straight. So, like, when are you killing Jar Jar? Let's perhaps get that a bit key there.
That was going to be my question. Yeah.
Let's see. Well, he gets into a whole war at some point. So, given the knowledge that, that battle with all the droids and stuff
On Naboo.
Naboo, yeah. Where, whichever planet it is. I don't really pay that much attention. But yeah, he accidentally kills his way through half an army, and so in that knowledge, I reckon it would be quite easy to just have someone with a sniper rifle.
The problem is you still.
Sorry. I just want to get this clear.
Go on.
I'm just getting a bit insulted here that Ed's suggestion is Toad with a sniper rifle to get rid of Jar Jar.
I saw an opportunity and I took it, baby. I can't let people make their own callbacks, so I've got to steal them first.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
But not necessarily then, but I feel like even at a younger time, they encounter him on whatever planet he turns up on.
That's still Naboo.
Still Naboo. Hasn't changed.
Is it all Naboo? How have they got a massive city and also a massive underwater? Oh, okay, fair enough. I see the error of my ways.
In Star Wars, normally the planets are just one thing, like Tatooine is the desert planet.
Yeah, Naboo has 2 things.
Yeah, they had some super secret tech in Naboo to allow them to have 2 things.
2 biomes.
Yeah. Right, sure, they allowed 2 things. Okay, but Jar Jar stumbles around. He's the definition of bumbling his way to success.
Yeah, he's failing upwards.
And so there's so many opportunities at which he could fail and just die. Like a light push, I reckon multiple times would kill him.
Okay.
And I just got to be in the right place at the right time.
Okay. So you've chosen the battle in which he just electrocutes himself with one of the big ball things.
Yeah, that'll do.
Oh yeah, I love those big balls.
We all love big balls.
Surely there's someone else that's gullible that would just be because. Hang on, let me get this straight. Jar Jar.
I think he's like Padme's assistant.
Well, he kind of, because that's the thing, isn't it? He sort of does he become the senator? He sort of becomes he isn't the Naboo incentive.
I think he's sitting in for Padme.
Is sitting in for Padme, yeah.
Which is a really stupid choice, Padme, come on.
Yeah.
Although, admittedly, she's also culpable for what happened because she's the person who gave Palpatine more power in episode 1 in the Senate vote.
Oh, you're telling me we should actually be trying to kill Padme?
Ooh.
That's the problem. No, because if you kill Jar Jar early enough, then the Jedi never get to save Padme and you never get to leave the planet.
2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And obviously, without the temptress Padme to give the fruit of the Garden of Eden to Anakin or whatever metaphor we're going with.
He dies a slave boy on Tatooine, yeah.
Well, I was going to say he doesn't turn evil, but
All right, let's just wrap every answer into one. Champion.
Yeah, that is a slight problem.
Jar Jar is the domino effect that sets this all in motion, though, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And therefore, if we can get rid of Jar Jar, we get rid of every other opportunity for the dark side to win.
Yeah.
No,
that's exactly what you've just told me. I've definitely not deliberately misunderstood.
I was not involved in this conversation at all. These two lunatics can do whatever they like.
I will say, though, the one difficulty I'm going to have with killing Jar Jar is that he is a character who seems to have all of his stats in luck.
Yeah.
And so actually eliminating him, I have to come up with a plan that is luck-proof.
Yes.
He's the one character in the setting who seems to be following, like, Sunday morning cartoon logic. Like the Wile E. Coyote thing or whatever, yeah.
Yes.
So that you push him off a cliff, he'll live.
This was going to be my point. He's following cartoon character logic, and thus it's going to be very hard to defeat Jar Jar.
You've given me a fantastic idea with cartoon logic, though.
Ooh.
You know, there's that scene where he zap his tongue and he can't talk for a little while.
Yeah.
Yep.
What if we make that zap strawberry flavored, and so he falls in love with this flavor and keeps like just trying to eat electricity?
There's a taste for
Death
it.
by pod racer.
And so when he gets to the Senate and he's like, I think we should give Palpatine ultimate power, instead, because his tongue not work, he like, and everyone's like, I don't know what you're saying, Jar Jar. Bin that off. New vote.
I think we should vote for Queen Amidala.
Yeah, the Senate love it. They're just having a laugh about Jar Jar's tongue.
They'll forget what they were there for.
Palpatine's like, guys, you're meant to be giving me emergency powers so I can become emperor. And like, no, this is better.
Hang on. If Jar Jar suggests that in the first place, how can Palpatine rely on that to be part of his plan?
Palpatine suggests it indirectly before the meeting. He's like, it would take a very brave and intelligent person to suggest what other people are too scared to suggest or whatever.
And Jar Jar goes, give him ultimate power. Got it.
Surely he'd find one other unwilling buffoon in the Senate that's full of unwilling buffoons and Mon Mothma.
Nah, that's flawless Senate, my guy, apart from Jar Jar.
So there's a slight interesting point here that you maybe don't even need to kill Jar Jar, you just need to make him more stupid.
More stupid?
As in, he doesn't pick up on the hint.
That's quite good.
Really stupid. I mean, he's already pretty stupid. If anything, I need to make him slightly more intelligent so that he goes, wait a minute. Give Jar Jar critical thinking lessons.
Just like in Gungan High School, make sure he takes some
Critical thinking GCSE.
extra things in critical thinking, yeah.
Actually, I have a slightly different thought, because I know that this whole conversation will have really upset our good friend Bear, because he is a big fan of Jar Jar. And so instead of killing Jar Jar, what if we simply added a second Jar Jar to the canon? Because Jar Jar is very much about undoing plans or stumbling his way into success via failure, if we add a second Jar Jar, that Jar Jar will undo the first Jar Jar's meddlings. They'll cancel each other out. Jar Jar's cancel. We know that. That's a mathematical equation.
Hang on.
Are you saying the second Jar Jar will get the first Jar Jar given emergency powers? The first one, the Jar Jar will try and get emergency powers, and the second one will actually somehow make the Senate give Jar.
Hang on, why don't we just give you emergency powers, Jar Jar?
Yeah.
And then Jar Jar can screw up the universe all by himself rather than the dark side doing it.
Yeah, I was going to say, hang on a minute.
Which does prevent the rise of the dark side, even if it ends up in the same point of the universe.
No, it would just be that you then, instead of have a Palpatine as Emperor, you have Jar Jar as Emperor, with effectively being Palpatine's puppet, right?
And then we can relive the Darth Jar Jar thing, that theory that everybody loved.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, that theory that was everyone was Plagius is going to turn out to be Jar Jar, or Snoke is going to turn out to be Jar Jar.
There's no way it was ever true.
It's not, because we know what canonically happens to Jar Jar after all of this happens.
It has a lovely life.
He gets exiled by his people and becomes a clown. This is canon.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that is canon. I'd forgotten that.
Where?
I'm impressed he has the awareness to become a clown.
I know. On Naboo. Is a clown on the streets of Naboo.
So adding the second Jar Jar prevents his exile.
Potentially.
Because he'll convince them to give Jar Jar emergency powers in the Naboo Council or whatever.
But can we make Jar Jar a clown sooner instead of killing him? Because obviously we can't kill him.
He's already a clown, dude. He starts the series a clown. He ends the series a clown. Perfect circle.
Sheev's circus.
Circle so tight it's a dot.
Oh.
I don't see the problem with this. Whether we eliminate Jar Jar or we double Jar Jar, either way, it cancels out Jar Jar.
We just can't have an odd number of Jar Jars.
But how do you double Jar Jar?
You just get a regular Gungan and smack it on their head.
Go to Camino, clone him.
Oh, wait, there's a cloning facility on Camino.
Oh, yeah.
Geez. Okay, yeah, no, that's easy. Yeah. Wait, we've replaced Jango Fett with Jar Jar, and now the entire clone army is just...
The Book of Jar Jar.
I think this is a whole different question, dude.
You better hope that's an even number to counteract Palpatine's plans, because if it's an odd number, well, Palpatine's plan will work.
Nice.
We just put Jar Jar on the clone and slap the button enough times and go, well, that's probably an even number. Walk away.
I just like the idea there's just a big red button that they have to keep on smacking each time. So,
You clone. Yay!
One button press equals one clone.
It's just some poor comedian there, just going like, "What is your job? Your job is to press the button."
Oh, they've ordered another 10,000.
Can we get a droid to do it? No.
Hey, and if I happen to turn this into a short, then one like equals one clone, baby.
Ooh, yes.
Let's go.
Right, okay. So you've gone down the Jar Jar route. I'm going to go down, and we touched on it briefly, and I don't know how these two particular plans will intersect, because I think that actually a really good way of dealing with this is like Anakin's fall to the dark side is part of Sidious's plan, and I think if you remove Anakin from the equation, then that I think is something that Darth Sidious doesn't know how to deal with, because he does have Count Dooku, but they are sort of, I can see those guys squabbling with each other.
So you're going to kill Anakin?
No. That's I'm only cruel some of the time.
Oh, right, good.
I'll kill Anakin. I don't care. I'll kill children. It's the episode 2 reference.
And also Toad is busy, so I don't really have any other options. So actually what I think we do is just get him to commit to the pod racing thing.
Oh.
Because he clearly likes pod racing, but they sell the pod racer to get money. He's earned his freedom, but he's still got his mum still there in slavery. But if he just commits to the pod racing, but he doesn't become a Jedi.
So you're going to make him become like a Formula One driver, like that level of like, I'm into it, this is all I do, I'm super famous for it.
I think there's definitely opportunity for that there, because it's sort of like, I can't imagine that, like, after Sebulba's lost, I can't imagine Jabba the Hutt having Sebulba as his favourite anymore. What will happen is it will just Anakin becomes Jabba the Hutt's favourite.
He does have a better chance of saving his mum with his winnings over time if he keeps doing it.
Well, exactly that's the point. And what he would actually gain is like the protection of the Hutts and all of that lot, because they care that their bet was lost, but I don't think, like, I get the sort of impression that like Sebulba, like once now he's lost his race, he's out. He isn't getting back into the party anymore.
Yeah, it's like the prize fighter that falls from the mafia's graces and
Yeah.
And then ends up with his kneecaps broken at the bottom of a river or something.
Yeah.
it would be a very different genre of film.
Yeah, I am not quite sure how strawberry flavoured pod racers comes into this. Maybe that's the thing that makes I don't know, the pod racer better.
That's how I can make some money on the side.
That's part of the merchandising.
Yeah.
Strawberry flavoured pod racicles.
Right, if that's the case, then so the main problem here then is that I've got to encourage him to do pod racing. But the only reason why he does the pod race, and the only reason why his mum allows him to do the pod race, is because of Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, like, do Qui-Gon Jinn and Jar Jar still have to turn up?
Okay, so we can't kill Jar Jar for this one.
Okay, so the plot still has to proceed to the point where he's doing a pod race. That's we can say that's when we're intervening. We can ignore the Jar Jar death for now.
We'll get to it, though. We'll get to it.
They don't have to be additive. So you say, like, you're proceeding the plot up until when he wins the pod race. Oh, but then Qui-Gon already wants to abduct him.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is get him to the pod race, but have Qui-Gon not realise that he wants to take him. You have to break the midi-chlorian scanner.
That's good. That's good.
There's a scanner?
Yeah, there's like a blood test that he did.
Yeah.
I thought they were just like could sense it, and they were like, "There's something going on with this kid. He's chock full of the
Bugs.
midi boys. He's chock full of cells.
Yeah, they sense it, and then they do a
He's
test.
chock full of mitochondria.
Who isn't these days,
His cells have got so much powerhouse.
So breaking the midichlorian detector is a quite a funny thing where he's just sitting there going, what the fuck is going on?
That's such a simple thing to do as well.
Yeah.
So that might work. There's also the other one, which is the more extreme one, which is sort of like tell Darth Maul to get a move on.
So you have Anakin win the pod race, and then Maul can just kill Qui-Gon before he takes him. And he's like, I guess I'll become a pod racer now.
Yeah, like, oh well.
The other one is let Yoda become more stubborn. Because if Yoda, who was like, oh yeah, he's too old to begin the training, actually stuck to his guns, like, that would be fine.
Oh, because he could go back and become a pod racer.
Qui-Gon's like, well, what do you like to do, kid? We've got some Jedi career counselling here. Oh, you like pod racing? Great.
I like the idea that there's this zone where it's like all of these kids, like, yes, we did take you away from your family. However, you've stuffed it really. So
You're not good enough.
You ain't got enough cells.
And you don't have a Count Hood to fall back for. So, what are we going to do?
Yeah, this is a lot less violent and evil for Kinnigan than isn't personally.
It's really funny that you say that, because something I wanted to point out was that given the lethality of the pod race,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's
you
dead.
saying you don't want to kill Anakin and make him a pod racer, I think almost mutually exclusive. We'll die at some point.
But isn't his midichlorian count and being a good Jedi or being a good Force sensitive is what actually makes him good at it, right?
His cells make him well good at pod racing.
Yeah, that. Pod racing bloodlines.
All right, maybe.
But not everyone who's good at the Force has to be a Jedi. Some of them can be a Mandalorian or
Pod racers.
a pod racer
Or a counselor.
or a counselor.
Yeah.
I think what's more likely to happen is that a Tusken Raider will just shoot him in the head on like Bend 3.
Oh, we're back to sniper rifles.
Like the Tusken Raiders would give us sniper rifles, right? Give them a sniper.
Wait, that's not a Tusken rifle. That's a high caliber anti-tank round. What?
Who gave them one of those?
Tusken Raiders more powerful weapons.
Better guns and a war cry that it wasn't just.
Like, oh, now we know where they are and where we have to not get shot from. Thanks for warning us.
Oh no, a sniper.
Don't worry, these things pierce cover.
A railgun.
They were kind of on their way to that in Boba Fett, but then they got killed before they had the chance. So, you know, it could happen.
So both of these have been they're both trying to like avert one person's involvement in the scheme. It does bring the question to both of the answers being given so far of like, does Palpatine have redundancies within redundancies and backups within backups? He is known for it.
Yes.
Once you've got Anakin out of the way, you might delay the plan, but now you need to like plan ahead for the next Anakin or for the next Jar Jar, I guess.
That's the sequel's problem.
So, if I may, the problem is that the Jedi are pretty shit.
Yeah.
But they're the good guys.
Are they? Are they really?
Well, they're not the bad guys.
We're getting dangerously close to, from my perspective.
From a certain point of view.
Just don't stop him. He's actually pretty good.
No, this is a true centrism thing. Alex is going to be like, the Sith are bad too, though.
But they are ridiculously incompetent. Like, they can't even work out that Anakin has a secret wife. It's really fucking obvious. Like, Anakin goes to Yoda and asks all these probing questions, and Yoda's like, yeah, you probably don't have a secret wife.
Probably not.
Isn't the point is that Obi-Wan knows?
Almost certainly, Obi-Wan knows.
Yeah.
And because Obi-Wan and Satine are, like, having a thing, they never question it.
When you talk about the good guys, Obi-Wan is one of the good guys.
TM.
The Jedi might not be, but
Oh,
Obi-Wan
right.
is,
Yeah.
and
Oh, I
therefore,
see.
like, Obi-Wan, as far as, at least from my reading of the thing, is okay with Anakin having a wife because that's what he kind of needs to not be bad or whatever, right? Like,
Yeah.
like it's his friend, and he's come round on it a bit more, because Qui-Gon was more... Qui-Gon.
You've been saying Qui-Gon a lot.
Qui-Gon was more open to, like, slightly outside of the rules things, and Obi-Wan's come round a bit more and is
Yeah.
more willing to let it happen because it's not actually hurting anyone.
Yes.
And if the Jedi at large accepted it, it probably would have been way more fine.
Yeah.
Why does Anakin hate Obi-Wan so much then?
Because...
It's like, oh, you can have a wife, and he's like, I hate you. I didn't want a wife.
Oh, it's like you're siding with her. You're trying to steal her from me. A lot of stuff.
All right, he's a teenager. Fair enough. Got it.
Yeah. So that's one thing. The other thing is they are just shit at everything. It's like, oh, someone's deleted a planet from our records.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Let's not investigate that, but Obi-Wan, you go off to talk to the planet. There was this guy called Sifo Dyas, who was like an old Jedi who ordered these clones. Should we look into the books? No, let's not bother. We've just got these clones now. And so they never discover that these clones have been genetically engineered to have an Order 66, which is kill all the Jedi, lol.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
well.
fair. I'm now thinking about it, just the concept that there was this whole planet that is making clones, and it's quite a large order, and the fact that the Republic hasn't received an invoice
Oh wait, what?
is already sort of...
The paper trail just disappears.
There's no invoice. They have no logistical scanners, and we've seen when the Imperials get round to it, they've got ISV, and they're like, oh yeah, we can just like investigate everything, but there's no investigation for cops. They're really awful cops, the Jedi.
So what's the solution here?
So I think they need to hire some outside help.
Such as?
Detective Columbo, but if we don't have Detective Columbo, maybe a bounty hunter.
You want a PI?
Yeah.
A bounty hunter. Okay. You hire Django Fett.
Yes, Django Fett, perfect.
The only bounty hunter.
Hey, Django Fett, what are they doing on Camino? Oh, I think I know this one.
Hey, dude, what's up with all these clothes? Why haven't we got an invoice? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine.
So you want to hire a PI?
Yes.
Whether it's a Django Fett or the lady who is a shapeshifter who Django Fett hires, who's another bounty hunter, or just an actual straight up PI.
Yeah, there's like some guy who lives in the Jedi archives who's just like helps Ashoka deal with a mystery at some point. Like, he would be pretty good. He'd probably be able to figure it out. But like, no one can follow clues and find the end of this trail. They're just like, okay, we've kind of got what we need now. Oh, look, a very helpful clone army just when they're attacking us with their own droid army. Great.
Are you saying that Palpatine's plans are actually quite easy to unearth if someone actually looks into them?
Yes, I am.
Because the moment Obi-Wan starts looking into them, he immediately finds the clones, finds Count Dooku's base, and that takes very minimal effort.
I wonder there then, though, which is an interesting point, whether Sidious put more clues down, because it is a bit of it's a red herring, right? It's they need this fight to happen, they need this thing. But the Jedi just stopped early. There was actually a load of other paper trail of other, relatively easy to pick up clues that they just didn't bother getting.
Well, like, who in the Senate is massively benefiting from what's going on right now? I wonder if they're involved in what's actually happening.
Could it possibly be?
I wonder if it's someone we gave ultimate power or not.
Well, it is one of those just sort of weird ones of like, oh, there's the Federation or whatever, they're, a coalition of planets.
Oh, the Confederacy.
Yeah, and it's just that sort of like, well, we need an army. Oh, there happens to be one. I agree that is quite suspect. But also, I guess at that point, there's also the, we kind of need this.
But also, like, Darth Maul died. Did anyone investigate, like, how he got on the planet? Did he use a ship? Was he talking to anyone? Did he have a communicator? That's
the point. The scimitar will just be, like, somewhere on Naboo.
Yeah.
His ship will just be on Naboo.
There'll be some data there.
So I'm making the guess that, like, because he does have droids, the droids must have a sort of kind of just Darth Maul walking out. If I'm not back by 6, blow it all up.
Wait, Palpatine is from Naboo. Palpatine is his home place is Naboo.
He's Nabooian?
Yeah.
So actually, I guess Maul could have just parked in his like garage, and no one would have found the scimitar.
Oh, the Senator's got a visitor. Whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, it's just the ship parked in Palpatine's house back on Naboo, and it's just like no one's checking it.
What do you look like? Well, he looked like this crazy demon-looking dude. He's fine. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, it's fine. Did anyone go and check if his body was down there? No.
What about you?
Oh, yeah. I also really like the idea that you get this detective, you get to that, what's the moment called where they do the reveal that it was you?
Oh, the denouement.
You get to the denouement, and it was you, Palpatine, the whole time. And he's just like, I am the Senate. And it goes exactly the same way with Mace Windu getting yeet out the window.
Mace Windu.
He just cuts Poirot in half with a lightsaber, yeah.
Just a random Belgian getting sliced in two.
Or if it's Sherlock Holmes, and Sherlock Holmes is like, I can calculate the way he's going to like attack and I'm going to block, and he's like, it's a lightsaber. It just goes straight through him.
Okay, so we've got a PI, but we now need to work out what sort of detective it is. We've so far worked out that Mind Palace detective doesn't work and Belgian doesn't work. What other detectives are there?
We get Texan. I used to be James Bond, I'll have you know.
Daniel Craig with a gun.
He just pulls out a gun, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Some kind of Wild West guy would be great.
I do think Columbo was actually a good call. I get the vibe that Palpatine would specifically, because Columbo's entire thing is not pretending to be like stupid, but pretending to be like less intelligent than he is, so people kind of think he's bumbling around a bit. I think Palpatine would underestimate him compared to some of the genuinely more smart appearing ones. Because like he goes to the opera with Anakin and straight up basically admits he's a Sith and says, I can save your wife.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if he's willing to let that slip in a public space.
Just one more thing.
But I don't think that's him slipping. That is he's read Anakin well.
Oh, yeah, but they're in a public space. Columbo could be the next booth over.
Yeah. Oh, detective, what are you doing here? My wife, she loves the theatre.
Okay, fair point. I was gonna make some assumption that in the Star Wars universe, boxes have some sort of sound thing that means that they can't hear the people next to them.
No, I just don't think they try to listen in. They're too busy caught up in the opera.
In the
the light show.
They do invent random force powers. Maybe Palpatine has like force silence area. I don't know. Force echo chamber? No, hang on, that's not right. It kind of does have a force echo chamber now I think about it.
Because there are just other characters just like in the background of that shot, just watching whatever the show is, right?
Yeah, there's lots of people. I mean, he's with his favourite goons who are probably in on him being evil, but you know.
Oh, of course. And then someone turns up and like offers him a jelly baby and asks him what more thing.
Yeah.
I'm mixing my characters, but
Isn't Columbo's whole thing that he basically talks to the villain the whole time?
pretty much.
Yeah.
He's like the person that he ends up spending most of the time with. So Columbo just like turns up in almost every scene.
Just following Palpatine around. Yeah.
He's like, I'm trying to have a private conversation with Anakin. He's like, oh yeah, no, just one more thing actually while I'm here.
Oh yeah, this show is really good, isn't it? It makes you think about the dark side of the Force.
I'm a big friend of Senator Abadala. I always go to her parties.
I really want, like, you just get the shot of Palpatine explaining to Anakin about Darth Plagueis or whatever that conversation's about, and then you get the reverse shot and just Columbo's sitting there looking at the opera munching on jelly beans.
Just one more thing, Senator. Have you heard of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the White?
It's a tragedy, really.
It's not a story that the Jedi told me.
Oh, yeah, okay, I like this scene. Whether or not it would work, I don't know, because these PIs are fleshy and are weak to lightsaber and lightning, actually, thinking about it. But I'd like the scenes we've got.
And force choking and being pushed out of a building, you know,
Yeah, all
kind
of
of
them.
everything.
Yeah, ideally, it would be former Jedi Order Columbo. Like, he left the Jedi Order because he realized that they were
That they sucked.
just incompetent and sucked. But you keep your badge and lightsaber when you leave the Jedi Order because Dooku was just like, yeah, I'm going to become a count now. See ya.
But yeah, whatever. It's not worth chasing down.
Bring the light. No, oh, he's gone.
But you do get taught how to make a lightsaber. They can make more. That's
Yeah.
sort of the point.
Is that how they get the red ones?
Oh, they just have to swap out the crystal to make the red one.
Yep, just fashion choice.
So they just give them a handful of crystals while they're like,
Yeah.
okay, you gotta before you hand in your badge and gun, here's a bunch of crystals so you can pick your color.
Pick the red
We'll
one.
get your badge and gun from you next week. But we're in a big war next week. Yeah, no, don't worry. We'll send someone.
Don't worry about it.
I have a feeling that you'll hand in your badge and gun.
Oh, I have a feeling that your badge and gun will be handed
What
in.
if Columbo, sorry, it's a pretty different point. What if Columbo, instead of investigating Palpatine, he's like, Palpatine's pretty straight up with what he's doing. I need to investigate Obi-Wan or the Jedi or Yoda or someone.
Yeah.
And just misses the point completely.
This Yoda guy.
Oh, that is an interesting point, that he just ends up getting on a tangent.
You say fear leads to anger.
Palpatine's doing a big crime, don't get me wrong, but the Jedi are breaking way more laws than Palpatine is.
Yeah.
He's very good at with a. I think he's got 100% hit rate.
I love the idea that we end up at the reveal thing at the end, and it just results in pointing at what is his name, General Mundy, and being like, "You've committed war crimes. Get out."
And Columbo's like, you're all awful. Get a better power structure.
Stop abducting children into your religion.
I'm okay with an emperor, but not that.
Palpatine might be the Sith and the Emperor of the dark side, but Mace Windu, before you go attacking him, I got a few things to tell you about. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Do you want to support us? Like, in a financial sense? I mean, make sure you're taken care of first, of course. But if you've got a few extra dollary dues to throw at your favourite content creators, or us, we've got a bunch of ways for you to do that. You can chuck us a one-time donation via Ko-Fi, sign up for monthly donations on Patreon, or subscribe to us on Twitch if that's more your speed. Apart from the inbuilt Twitch rewards, we don't have much in the way of support or perks yet, but we do have a bunch of ideas on the back burner that we'd love to get around to with a bit more support. And now that I've finished selling out, let's get back to the show.
Well, a lot of this conversation is just really pointing out, really, is that ultimately trying to stop Palpatine is quite difficult. I actually now think the best way of doing it is to usurp him. Is to be a bigger evil than him.
Somehow, Dark Lord Pollux has returned.
Yeah. I think I've got this. I all I have to do is just go to, like, what is it, Darth Maulland or something. Get a few of them.
Darth Maulland.
Yes.
You know the name of that? Dathomir. Dathomir?
Dathomir, cool. Right, yeah, Darth Maulland.
Oh, yeah, Darth Maul.
You just gotta make a suggestion to Jar Jar before Palpatine does. Man, it'd be a real shame if someone like me was given ultimate power. Oh, I don't know how that would pan out.
Yeah.
It takes someone really brave and intelligent, like really brave and intelligent to suggest me.
Like, even more than Palpatine said. Like, double brave to what Palpatine said.
Oh, me so like this idea. And then second Jar Jar comes in and votes Palpatine anyway.
You forgot about second Jar Jar.
What's your actual plan for usurping Palpatine?
Okay, so first I think I need to. Okay, so the thing about the dark side stuff is that they always come in pairs.
like bananas and pajamas.
The rule of two?
There's always a master and an apprentice,
Yep.
but the only reason why the rule of two exists is because they will kill each other as soon as there's more.
They will often do it when there's only two as well.
Yes, they will often do it when it's only two.
Well, there's going to be two at some point, so I better reduce it to one for now.
So maybe I just need to get Count Dooku on side a bit more. Maybe we start with that.
So you're going to take Count Dooku on as your Dark Apprentice?
Yeah, let's go with it. Yeah, let's just roll with that. Yes.
I for a minute here, I thought your plan was infiltrate the Sith, hire a bunch more Sith, and then leave the Sith to get them just to kill each other.
That is quite a good idea. That I do like the idea. I think I might be doing that as well, just by accident more than anything else.
This is your plans within plans.
Yeah, exactly. If in doubt.
And you hope that whoever's left got a bit lucky and is worse than Palpatine. And by worse, I mean less good at it, not worse for us.
Less bad at being bad. Hang on.
Yeah, it's mixture. Like, ultimately, like, if Darth Maul became, like, head of the Galactic Imperium, he probably would be really bad at the mundane shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Palpatine's quite good at the bureaucracy of the Senate at the same time as being an evil emperor, whereas Darth Maul does strike me as... He's in it for the dark side of the Sith, but he doesn't really want to be a figurehead of a leader of an entire nation.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a military man sort of thing.
Crime boss.
Yeah.
So I think I've got an angle in there. So, you know, we go to Datho Blanca or whatever it's called. We get a load of them. We just put them in a big ship, give them some crystals and some lightsabers. There you go. Have some fun, guys.
Here's some crystals and some sticks. You figure it out.
We get Count Dooku involved, and we'll get General Grievous as well, and we'll say, look, General Grievous is easy. General Grievous is like, I will be able to teach you how to use the Force. Like, but I'm just a slime robot thing. It's like, well, we'll get there.
I'll give you more lightsabers then. What do you want?
He didn't start as a slime robot thing, to be fair. He got completely destroyed and turned into a slime robot thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he started fully organic.
Yeah. He's like proto-Darth Vader.
Yeah, he was a regular human man.
Well, he was an alien of some description.
Yeah, sorry, regular human, whatever race he actually is.
Regular human alien.
Yeah, that's the one.
So I think that's the angle there. So we get
a bunch of them on your side.
Yeah, well, a bunch of them at least just generally around, and then once you've got all of that in place, then you need to.
You're taking over the council by force.
Yes. I think.
I've got all these guys on side, and what are you gonna do? And Palpatine's there like, shit.
I am the Senate.
How's that clone army going?
Well, I have to draw quite a fine line because we need to stop Palpatine and prevent the dark side from rising.
Yes.
Oh, it's an and.
So I need to deal with Palpatine and also not lead to the dark side rising.
What about usurping the role of Emperor but not the role of Sith Lord?
I am going to point something out as well. Paul, your villain name is specifically Dark Lord Pwal.
Oh, good point, yes.
I think you are intrinsically attached to the dark side.
Yeah, but like I don't need to be successful in this.
I don't know how many midichlorians you've got, to be honest.
You like set up a puppet, but instead of a puppet, you just let them run it and leave.
Dooku, you're in charge.
Set up a puppet, you say? You mean Darth Yoda?
What shall I do, Dark Lord? Like, whatever you want. See, I'm on vacation now.
This is like, I'm off to work. I had to live forever. I don't want any of this shit.
I got an army of toads to lead or something. I can't remember the specifics.
I take over the Galactic Senate with a screaming pile of toads.
And then you bring in the one with the sniper rifle to kill Palpatine in the confusion.
I have some questions.
Only some. I've done quite well then.
I have no notes. Perfect plan.
Taking over the Senate with toads, whatever. That's all good. That's all fine. How do you get people like Dooku and Maul on side specifically?
So Maul, I think it depends on when I get him, because Maul, I think I can get him when he's like a spider thing, and it will be the promise of revenge against Obi-Wan.
Oh, so after episode 1, when he's had his legs chopped off and he's got robo legs.
Yeah, I get robo legs Darth Maul.
Mid Palpatine plan at this point.
Yeah, mid Palpatine plan. Well, I think I just need to act faster than him.
Okay.
I need to be able to usurp him and be faster than him.
He do be quite slow. There was a whole 2 episodes at one point where he just decided to turn up in the 3rd one for some reason.
Also, there was the entire war that he took before he became Emperor.
Yeah,
that's true.
There's quite a lot of character development.
He does a lot off screen that we don't necessarily see, though.
Yeah, but it's so off screen, it's also off script. We don't even know about it.
Sorry, the Camino cloning facilities, they're all taken for quite a lot of years, actually.
Somebody else.
That does take time.
Someone's just there hitting the button.
you get to Camino first and you just put an order in.
Just a bigger order.
I'd like to clone my puppy 5 billion times, please.
Jamie, that's how I get the toads.
The infinite. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
What, you got an order for 1 million clones? I want 1,000,001 toads.
No, you misheard. I want 1,000,000 toads.
And so Kamino's just busy.
Yeah.
The clone army never happens. The Confederacy wins.
And we already know that Kamino bill on delivery.
By having time travel shenanigans, Jamie, you have allowed us to use future knowledge here.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Really works into Paul's favour right now.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you want to like use the knowledge that, I don't know, I was trying to think of something interesting from the sequels about Palpatine, but we don't know anything.
That he's somehow returned.
Yeah, my point doesn't go anywhere.
We might find out at some point, maybe on one of the many TV shows we get.
Mm.
I've now realised that I would need to swing in some of Alex's plan, because at this point Palpatine has almost certainly been cloned.
Oh, yeah.
So we do need to get to Zaxalotl or whatever it was called. No, it's fine, because the Death Star's never made, it's never destroyed, which means it never falls onto a planet, which means that there's never a dagger that points the right direction.
Yeah, that's the point, yeah.
Oh, God, what a nonsense plot device.
Look, we managed to avoid trashing on episode 9 for like a lot of recording so far.
We did.
Let's go, that sucked.
Yeah.
Back to stopping Palpatine, who has returned somehow. So you're going to become Emperor Pwal, Emperor Pwalux, Dark Emperor Pwalux, Lord of the Sith, whether or not you've actually got Force powers.
Ruler of the Empire, the galaxy, the universe.
Ruler of the Empire and the galaxy, but then you're going to not be evil or whatever.
Not be dark side evil.
Not be dark sidey, yeah.
Just regular evil.
I think the rise of the dark side is the idea that the Empire then spreads out. The Empire takes control over loads of different things. So, like, my rise of the dark side happens in the sense of I've got to the top. I'm now the big Sith. I have one apprentice called Barry. And
Kill off all the others, yeah.
all the others have died.
I'm right here, dude. What the hell?
And I just like, have you ever heard the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise? I want to live forever. That sounds real cool, doesn't it?
Have you ever heard the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise? No? Good. We're not going into that. I have to prevent the dark side.
I'm not Sidious, so I don't know about it. So I guess
No, neither am I. I just thought it'd be a cool line.
I'm just flicking through Sidious's diary. It's like, I told Anakin about Darth Plagueis the Wise. Like, who the hell is this?
Hey, Barry, you ever heard of Darth Plagueis the Wise? No, fantastic. Tick that box.
yeah, okay. So I would still argue that a rise of you as the dark side is a rise of the dark side. The Republic has a lot of space. I was going to say land for a second there.
Actually, if Paul specifically isn't a Sith, like if he doesn't recruit Sith, he just is his own brand of evil, doesn't do anything with the lightsabers and the Force and stuff.
Just imperial colonialism empire.
Purely politics and guns.
Yeah.
Then that's not the dark side.
Yeah. So it's so we've got the rise of Paul, and that's it of the Paul side.
Yeah.
The Paul side.
Just good old fascism. I don't know.
Good old fascism.
We were really skirting around that point, weren't we?
Look, okay. The fascists in Star Wars are extremely marketable.
I had to call it out. Sometimes you have to just call out the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Yes, the Empire is bad, but was the Republic actually that much better?
Yes, but not much, maybe.
It's like Tatooine is Republic controlled, but they still have slavery.
Yeah.
Maybe you should work on that one.
Yeah, Paul's going to abolish slavery, obviously.
Yeah.
But just for humans, not for droids.
There was a big hesitation. Who's going to abolish slavery? Yeah.
I can't see the webcams on the recording, but I saw the thought process go past Paul's eyes. Like, yep.
I guess you have to.
Like, I guess the right answer here is yes. So
Going on a recording.
It's very hard to be a Dark Lord, and you have to do certain decisions to be on brand still.
You've got droids for that. It's fine.
I've got droids for that.
Yeah, you can just enslave all the droids still.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, fine. Yeah.
We're not going to fall down that rabbit hole.
Nonetheless, flawless plan.
Yeah, sounds it.
Until I get sliced in two.
What else we got going on?
I know we avoided Duncan on episode 9 for a while now.
Uh-oh.
I simply must.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would like to propose that the way to stop Palpatine and the rise of the dark side is to convince Disney to write a better villain.
Okay.
Oh, you're meaning the second rise?
This is specifically the sequels, because the original trilogy, well loved, pretty good story, happy to leave that alone. That means the prequels have happened, so I can't touch those. And so by the time we get to the sequels, that's the rise we really need to stop. And I'm going to do it by going up to the writer's room, being like, you know what? I don't think J.J. Abrams is the right guy for the job. Hire anyone else.
They have one right at the end of the previous movie. Like, Kylo Ren is set up to be the villain of 9.
He is wonderfully set up to be.
And then somehow Palpatine returned.
Yep.
If we can get rid of that one line, then I think we'll be pretty good, actually.
You follow through on Kylo, you're saying. Like, you say, like, the rise of the dark side and Palpatine was stopped back in episode 6.
Even if they wanted to set up a different, bigger bad, like, I don't know whether the Snoke angle was a good one to take or not, but just don't use Palpatine again.
Have someone write an outline for a 3-movie plot and then follow it.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, have an idea for what happens in episode 7, 8, and 9 and stick to it rather than go, 7 was good, someone do an 8. 8 was bad, someone do a 9. 9 was worse, oh no.
Opinions.
Controversial opinion, let's not go there.
I'm going to be honest with you. I have been lost for the last 5 minutes imagining what a Wes Anderson film in Star Wars would look like.
Wes Anderson Star Wars.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, all the random styles we could get would just...
Bring in Taika Waititi and just turn it into a comedy.
Do a really good first film and then screw it up.
Then you could do Somehow Palpatine Returned, but funny.
Oh, God.
I feel like you'd want to get like James Gunn or someone on board for that.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
He does well with the sci-fi genre.
But you're saying, like, actually follow through on the sequels being a follow-up to the original movies, rather than starting as a follow-up and then becoming a retread.
I think it started as a retread, my dude.
So your plan is to get to the Disney writers.
Yes.
How?
How? Well, interesting question. Now, if we've got time travel shenanigans, I don't think I'm the worst writer. And I think with slightly different training, maybe a different, like, university and career path, I could probably get into the Disney writer room.
Okay.
So far we've been able to jump into Star Wars at any point.
Yeah, but you said you got time travel shenanigans.
Yeah, I guess I did.
Eddie, if you have time travel shenanigans, you don't need to be a good writer. You can plagiarize.
Wait a second.
Plagiarize.
guys. We can definitely do time travel in the real world because it's already established that Star Wars is technically a documentary.
Yes.
It happened a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul. I was about to make exactly that point. I'm, in fact, putting less strain on the time travel shenanigans.
So you're rewriting the documentary, which will therefore rewrite the past.
Yeah, you aren't actually changing anything. You're just...
Yeah. I'm not actually traveling back in time to the past. I'm just changing the documentary.
You don't actually have to do that stuff about becoming a writer or whatever. You just have to get some like reviews of episode 9 or whatever and go back and show them to JJ and get him to write something different. Like, hey, I know you're considering bringing Palp back, but like...
The critics did not love it.
It did not work. Do something else.
I don't think JJ is the right man for the job. I think he is a big nostalgia director.
He makes big mystery boxes, right?
Yeah.
And he's not good at revealing what's in them.
But like a lot of the like franchises he's got involved with very much just tick the what did people like about it, let's just do that.
Yeah, like Star Trek Into Darkness. Was that the one with Khan again?
Yes.
Yeah, that was the one.
Yes, it was, because the first one was just called Star Trek, right? Of the reboots.
Yeah.
It was like Star Trek, then Star Trek Into Darkness, and then...
Star Trek.
Again.
The Voyage Home? No, that was one of the old ones.
So you're saying like episode 7 is just nostalgia back to episode 4.
Yep.
Star Trek Into Darkness is just renaming things.
I have a bit of a curveball to add to this.
Okay.
You've got into the writing room. You've done all of that lot. And I appear in a suit going to like the board has had a meeting.
Okay.
We have 17 million supply of Darth Sidious toys.
Okay.
We ordered it ages ago. Apparently from a Jedi came here and wanted all of these toys.
Okay, gotcha.
This is Sidious's backup plan.
We aren't doing an investigation to find out about them, but we've now got all of these toys and we need to use them.
No, that's fine. I've got 2 solutions to this. One, make them Snoke.
just sand the edges off.
Somehow Snoke has returned.
Yeah, he had a big... You didn't really see his face in, like, episode 7, so you could probably bodge that.
Yeah.
Second solution, I have access to time travel. Just go back and unplace all of the
Wait, I think the point here that separate to the toys is it's not the writer's room. It's probably the board of directors or someone higher up passing down. Like 8 was divisive, bring Palpatine back. So what you need to do is you actually need to go into business school at an earlier point and become a Disney exec.
Oh, I see.
Rather than a writer.
So I think that if I was going to go back in time and rewrite Palpatine out of it, I would probably just go ahead and rewrite all of the sequels rather than just episode 9.
Yeah.
People really liked 7. I was not a fan of it because it was just a retread of 4. That's my opinion. Moving on. So I would just rewrite the whole thing to be a better 3-arc plot.
That's the one you thought we disagreed on.
Yeah. Weird.
No, I knew we disagreed on my way rounds of 8 and 9. No, surely not. Surely 9 is the worst.
9 is the worst.
9 is the worst.
8's the best of the
But
3.
8 is the best.
Oh, really? Fair enough.
Anyway, so what you're saying is you would rewrite the entirety of the sequels, which is totally okay, and you'd have it build up to something that just isn't Palpatine.
Correct.
You'd have an overarching idea. You'd make it so like the plot actually ran into it itself and flowed through the 3. And the big bad would be if you're keeping any elements, it would be like Kylo Ren would be the big bad, or Snoke would be the big bad, or Hux.
Yeah, or Darth Jar Jar, obviously.
Or Darth Jar Jar. Yeah, you'd have an overarching thing.
But which Jar Jar will it be?
So you're not stopping the rise of the dark side. You're just stopping it from recurring later.
Yeah, I'm stopping Palpatine specifically here.
All the suffering in the original Empire still all happening.
Yeah, I am jumping in around the episode 7 mark.
It's fine. Nothing bad happened in the original Empire.
Look, somehow Palpatine returned, and that's where I'm like, all right, we got to stop the rise of the dark side.
I like the bit of the idea of this though is that Ed comes in and there's just me that's now it's like, oh, I'm now going to take down you.
Oh yeah, so I need to stop Dr. Pwal.
Paul, we can work together on this. I can write you in as the main villain for episode 7 to 9.
All right, so
I'm okay with this, as long as you're not Palpatine or the dark side.
but that means that I returned then.
Somehow Dark Lord Pwalix returned.
But you're not returning. It's your first rise. In your version, you replaced the Empire, but in Eddie's version, Palpatine's Empire happened.
That's true.
And he's writing you in as the villain of the sequels, as a bad guy who's trying to do Empire stuff but isn't the dark side, so it's not the rise of the dark side.
That is true.
You're just a normal Empire leading...
You're just a lucky bystander.
Yeah.
A normal fascist. If there is such a thing.
Just don't be on Alderaan.
Oh yeah, because Alderaan got blown up, didn't it?
Yep.
Or one of the other 4 planets that they just killed at the start of episode 7 for some reason.
Yeah, no, there are a lot of them.
Yeah.
Also, don't be on the one that they shot in Rogue One. Don't be on that one either.
Oh, that was just one city, though.
It's like half the planet when you see it later.
Is it now?
It's quite big.
It took like a huge chunk out of the planet.
Paul, I've got some narrative loops to go through to get you to the right place without being in the wrong place, but we'll figure it out. It's fine. I've got a time travel device. I can just keep rewriting it until we get it right.
I have a fuckload of toads.
Oh, they think they assassinated me. It was a toad in a wing.
I do have a cheaper and more effective way of doing this.
Oh, do you now?
Like, of distracting Sheev. And that is, of course, to get him into the old trading card game Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
Oh, someone went for the judge.
No, you
No, we're not doing this. No, get out.
You're just going to get him addicted to cardboard crack.
I can't believe you've done this.
Get out.
We came up with such good ideas and you just went like, all right, I'm just going to softball win this episode.
Look, it didn't work for Thanos. It almost worked for Thanos. And then someone made the Fortnite joke and then it didn't work for Thanos.
But you weren't judging that one.
No, I realised, yeah, that was my gambit.
It's true. Fortnite is in Magic the Gathering now, so...
Wait,
What? Moving on.
They did a Fortnite skin of some cards in Magic the Gathering.
They did some Fortnite cards, yeah.
Oh, good. I'm so pleased for them.
Yeah, it makes money.
So you're saying you're going to take Magic the Gathering back to Naboo when Palpatine's a teenager?
Yeah, give him a box of alpha.
Oh, we're being nice, are we? Wait, I've got time
Oh,
travel.
we have time travel powers. We can buy a box of alpha.
Why don't I have a box of alpha? Screw the dark side.
I'm just going to stop this episode and go and use my time travel device real quick.
Quick, get it back on track.
There is something quite funny that all of our plans fail because we now don't have a time travel device because Jamie's dicked off with it. And the only one that actually makes sense is Ed's because that's the only one where it's maybe vaguely in the current situation and they probably will do another film, I guess. So we just need to stop the next return.
The rise.
Right, so quick, use the time travel device and get this episode back on track.
Yeah, you could time travel to get your magic box later.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine. That works, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, does that stop him wanting to take over the universe?
Yeah.
All right, asked and answered.
It becomes a tournament grinder.
Chasing them rare cards rather than the rare universe.
Yeah, instead of looking for small boys with medical counts off the charts, he's looking for chase rares.
School kids who have opened a Lotus, yeah.
Yeah, he does love dressing in black and living in swamps.
And, looking like a small goblin who hasn't seen the sun in 3 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, wrong character. I've given magic to the wrong character. My bad.
So, I've thought long and hard about these answers.
Hey, that's a first.
Eddie had to edit out 8 hours of me deliberating over the answer.
You've definitely made this joke before. I think the number goes up every time.
Eddie's just had to edit out 48 hours.
Wait, no. That's not what I meant. I meant across multiple episodes. We came back 2 days later.
And we kept the recordings
We're
going.
finally done thinking. We get a message from Jamie at 3 a.m.
Like, my hard drive is full of the recording I haven't stopped.
What? So easy to clap back in.
I forgot.
We need to replicate the audio environment.
So yeah, I've been thinking really long and hard about this. Obviously, as I always do, I'm the person who deliberates the most on my answers.
Clearly.
And I think today's winner is going to be the person who I think nips things in the bud quite early, but also brings a fun new element and sort of changes the genre of the Star Wars movies. I want to hire a private investigator to investigate Sidious's plans.
Hey.
I don't know which private investigator, but I liked all of them.
I mean, you could probably hire all of them. You have time travel powers.
We get Columbo and Benoit Blanc and Holmes and Poirot and Marple.
You don't think Palpatine will get suspicious? Why are there so many private investigators around?
Why is this old lady who's trying to garden around asking me questions about Pelagius the Wise?
How did she know about Pelagius the Wise? What's going on? Is she in the opera?
So yeah, well done, Alex.
Thank you. What's the prize?
Oh, today's prize is great. You've won a moon.
A whole moon.
Wow.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah.
That's no moon.
Thanks for listening. If you want to keep up to date with everything we do, you can follow us on Twitter or on Facebook. And if you'd like to support us financially, you could send us a one-time donation on Ko-Fi, sign up for monthly donations on Patreon, or subscribe to us on Twitch if that's more your speed. Links to all of that will be in the show notes. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time. Well, you'll see us. Well, not see, exactly. You get the idea.
Oh, wait. I don't know how to get it, but unlimited power. Unlimited didn't have any power in it.
No, I don't think we do.
Sorry.
These are some very tenuous links, mate.
I don't even know what to do with that soundbite.
Yeah.